All right, guys, let's talk about the Facebook Pixel because, above all else, as far as scaling, really where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck and, value for your time input is going to be getting creative with how you're creating new advertising campaigns, both to your store and to your products. You can scale all you want in the world, and you can analyze all this data, and you can, view your Google Analytics, see where people are coming from, what operating systems they're on, what countries, to make decisions about where to target. But when it comes to actually reaching new people that will be interested in purchasing from you, what you're going to want to do is spend most of your time actually creating new campaigns and creating new kind of unique ways to target your customers that you might not have thought about before. So let's talk about what we can do with the Facebook Pixel. So we talked pretty in depth about the Facebook Pixel in Module 4 about marketing, but let's kind of recap on a few things that we can really do here. So we can make what's called a custom audience, which you guys know from the previous module is a collection of emails. So as you start to scale and as you start to actually grow your Shopify business, from spin a sale or pop-up, you're going to start collecting emails. It's going to start coming over time. As you drive more people with more advertising, you're going to get more emails. If you get your relationships with influencers, if you make YouTube videos showing some of the top 10 uses of your product for golfers, or like the top 10 ways to improve your golf swing and things like that, you're going to get people who are interested. It's just how it works. When you create content and you add value, people are interested and they want to check it out. So what we're going to do is, as we start to get more emails, then we can really start to make more custom audiences. So we can upload email lists as a way to create a custom audience. We can look at people who visited our store in the last 24 hours. We can look at people who visited our store in the last 10 days, 20 days, 180 days is the maximum. We can look at people who visited specific pages of our site. So you can make a custom audience of people who've visited, the cart page of your site. And so let's actually go and do that really quick. Okay, guys, so we're on our store now, and we have to kind of start to think about, how the URL is really kind of put together. So if we go to shop now, what we can see is if we click on any of our collections, right? Let's go to shop now. So now we see /collections. So, this is one thing that we can target. We can literally just go in here, create a custom audience, and we're going to just do website traffic. And we're going to include people who meet any of the following criteria, and we're going to do people who visited specific websites. URL contains at least one of these values, /collections. So now anyone who's viewed any collection on our store, it could be men's polos, women's polos, whatever. So this is going to be a little bit more broad. So we're going to just call this one anyone who has viewed any collection. And we're going to create this audience. And if we hop back into our catalog, let's look at some other things. So if we actually go into a collection and we view a product, what we see here is if we add a cart to product, no matter which product it is, because we added this one, that one in the past, and it's actually saving this cookie, what we're seeing is the /cart here. So now we can target anyone who's visited the cart. And so one thing that we want to keep in mind here, guys, is we want to get creative. We want to make as many Facebook tests as we possibly can, even if you're running it at $5 a day. You can't possibly understand as a Facebook advertiser if you've never, spent a ton of money, and I've spent a ton of money on Facebook. It's just very hard to understand that some ads just work, guys. If you're all of your copy is written well with, a type of scarcity, a 50% off coupon, getting people in the door with a free plus shipping, with a high quality image in the right size, with, the basic things that you need for an advertisement. Some of these are just going to work. Like maybe it's going to be our custom audience of people who visited the cart made into a lookalike audience in the UK. Like it's just going to work really well. And some of them are going to work terribly. And so the more ads we have, 90% of scaling, guys, like everyone can tell you it's about customer service, it's about virtual assistants, it's about freeing up your time, and we will talk about that. But what scaling really means is interpreting your data, making data-driven decisions about it, and then expanding your advertisements to actually include as many newly, uniquely targeted audiences as you possibly can. So we're going to grab /cart here. We're going to come back in here. We're going to create a custom audience, and we're going to do website traffic. We're going to do 180. We're going to do people who visited specific web pages. And this one we're going to do /cart. So if we wanted to only, so keep in mind, when we do /cart, this is also going to retarget people who have purchased from you. Because if you only want to target people who've seen your cart but haven't purchased, then you'd have to just exclude anybody who's visited a specific web page that contains /thank_you, because this is the thank you page for Shopify's native cart. And so we want a bigger audience here, though. So we're just going to do everyone who's ever visited our cart, whether or not they've bought from us. So this is going to be everyone who has visited cart, including purchasers. And just so we can like see it, so making a lookalike audience, again, we explained this, but I just want to recap. Lookalike audiences give you a bigger pool. So custom audiences are literally only, so if Jeremy, Joe, and Fred visit your website, then if you make a custom audience with people who visited your website, it's only going to include Jeremy, Joe, and Fred. But if we make a custom audience and then create a lookalike audience out of that custom audience, then it's all of a sudden going to become much bigger. And so it needs to be a certain size to be able to create one. But let's see here. So let's do all website visitors we created earlier for our site, right? So there's 110,000 people in this custom audience. So now we're going to create a lookalike audience, and the source is going to be all website visitors, which we see right here. And let's make one for the United States. So now the USA, and we're going to keep it at 1 here, which is 2.1 million people. And 1 just means it's the most closely matching to our source. So it shares the most data variables of this 2.1 million people with our source, which of the 110,000. So we're going to create this one. And it takes a little bit of time to do this. Another good test. So when we were looking at our data in Google Analytics, we saw that we had a lot of people coming from the UK. So let's do all website visitors again as our source, and let's use United Kingdom now. So United Kingdom, and we're still going to do a 1 here because 409,000 people is enough, and we're going to create this audience. And remember, guys, once we created this audience, in the UK, a really cool thing that we can do, a lot of people just create lookalike audiences and then just run it from there. But what we can do is we can create, lookalike audiences of this 410,000 people that we just made, and then we'll just do one interest. Like we'll target the 410,000 lookalike audience in the UK who also like Callaway Golf, right? Or who also like Tiger Woods. And I'll just keep duplicating ad sets over and over and over again and changing the one interest from Callaway to Titleist to Tiger Woods to Rory McIlroy, and you can literally just infinitely test. So this is, and let me be super clear here, guys. The people who make this work are the people who test the most Facebook advertisements. So get creative, right? Get 10 ad creatives. And what I mean by that is 10 photo or 10 images, or if you have videos, obviously that works really well as well. But get 10 images, really beautiful, super applicable, test them, look at the click-through rates. If you're getting, above like a, 3 to 5% click-through rate, it's great. And then you just start to test as many things as you can. Once you have images that you've proven people are clicking on, then get creative with how you're actually populating the custom audiences. And then, from those custom audiences, making lookalike audiences in the USA, in UK, in Canada, in the United States, everywhere you can possibly think of where you have people who are interested in golf. And if you're curious about where people are interested in golf from a country perspective, go on to Google Trends, and instead of having it as United States, have it as worldwide, and then look at which countries by Google search volume, so real, true data, which countries are most interested in golf, and then from there, you can really just make a lot of decisions. So that's just kind of the audience section of scaling. It's very important to get creative. There's a lot of stuff we can do here with custom audiences. It doesn't just have to be website traffic. If we get our Facebook page up and live, right, what we can do here is you can literally create a list of people who've interacted with your page on Facebook. So we can choose our golf ninjas right here, and we can literally say everyone who engaged with your page, anyone who's visited your page. So this could be anybody who's ever just clicked on your page. Like it could be somebody who viewed an ad. It could be somebody who has heard about your company. It could be somebody who saw you on YouTube. It could be somebody who saw you from an influencer shout out. It could be anything. So if you want to be super broad here, you can do that. If you want to retarget people who have liked your ad or commented on your ad or shared your ad, you can do this one. If you want to target people who've clicked your Learn More button, right? Or they've clicked the button on your actual Facebook page that links to our site. You can target them here. You can target people who sent a message to your page. You can target people who saved your page or any post. And so, what I do mainly here, guys, is people who engage with your page. So visited isn't quite as strong. Engage means that they came and they liked something or they commented on something. So they just showed that little bit of extra interest, which is what you're really after here. And so I'm going to do 365, which is the max here. And we're just going to call this everyone who engaged in my page. And we can create this as a custom audience. And remember, guys, lookalike audiences are not only limited to like website visitors. I can make a lookalike audience out of anything. I can make a lookalike audience out of this custom audience of people who engage with my page, and Facebook's going to say, okay, what do the people who engage with Golf Ninja's page have in common? They have this. They have their age in common, their gender, their affluency, how much money they have, and then it's going to go out and say, okay, find me all these other people in Great Britain, in Canada, in the UK, and Australia who share these traits. And so lookalike audiences are the most powerful part of Facebook advertising, and you guys getting creative with custom audiences made into lookalike audiences in different countries is how people actually be successful. Because once you have these lookalike audiences, you can test interests. You can narrow the lookalike audiences down from 2.1 million of that whole pool is similar to people who have purchased off your page or who have done some action. And then from that 2.1 million, you narrow them down a little bit more with Callaway Golf, or maybe it's Tiger Woods, or all of these different options. And if you want to split test, make one ad set that has your lookalike audience only with Callaway Golf, and then at the very end of the ad, there's a place where you can click duplicate the ad. The only thing you change now is by scrolling down to detailed interest, changing it from Callaway Golf to Rory McIlroy, and then save that one. Run both of those on $5 a day, duplicate it again, change the interest to something else. And literally once you have like 20 ads in a day, you're going to start to see sales on some of them. Some of them are inevitably not going to do well. But once you have about 2 to 3 days of data of clicks and how much it's costing you and whether you're getting purchases, you can start to make very detailed decisions about what to actually pause and what to continue to let run, and more importantly, what to scale from a monetary perspective. Maybe it was $5 a day and it's getting you 1 sale. If you scale it to $10 a day and you're getting 2 sales, right, and those sales are giving you more profit than your ad cost, then it really starts to get exciting. So I think you guys are understanding. I think you are starting to realize how exciting this is. And all you have to do is just be a tinkerer. You just have to test and create as many advertisements. Obviously, with education and kind of data-driven decisions, you can't just make a bunch of audiences with no logic. But if you're making lookalike audiences and custom audiences from your website visitors, from the emails that people are giving you, and you're spawning them across the different countries and things like that, guys, it's going to work great. And so it's super exciting. I love this type of stuff, and I can't wait to see your guys' results. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and let's get to the next.